Yeah, in the last session we were discussing about the customer master, sales area data, and sales tab. In the sales tab, we have looked into sales we finished. So today we'll be looking into shipping, billing, and partner functions. So coming to the shipping, the first field is delivery priority. So delivery priority, it will help you to identify the customers who has the highest delivery priority. That means, so say suppose I give 10 million business to company, okay, 10 million business to company every year, okay, and you give $20 million per annum to the company. So who is the most valued customer? Obviously $20 million, right? So when delivering some goods, say suppose you have only 100 goods left of X material, and both the customer has placed an order for this 100 material, and this 100 is available. Hello. Yeah, so this 100, only 100 is available, and both the customer has placed. And both the customer, so to whom you will be giving the priority in delivering these particular goods? That's most probably but for this customer. Why? Because you will never say no to this high priority customer. Why? Because he gives very good business to the company. So delivery priority, you'll put it like this. You have options like high priority, low priority, medium priority. Okay, high priority, normal priority, low priority, next day, 2 days, ground shipping only, like this. Okay, you have priority while delivering the goods. Okay, so why you are prioritating your customers like this? Like why you are using a delivery priority and the customer master to prioritize a customer means why? Because later we have a concept called as back order processing. Okay, back order processing or rescheduling. Okay, so this particular field, what we just configured, say delivery priority, it will help us to identify who is the high priority customer and who is the low priority customer when you're doing a back order or rescheduling process. Okay, so just a insight what is a back order and what is rescheduling means. Say suppose I have two customers, one customer 101 and the other customer is 103. So he is a low priority customer and he is a high priority customer. Okay, so in my plant I have X material 100 quantity. Okay, only 100 quantity I have. So first 101, who is a low priority customer, has placed an order for X material 60 quantity. So do I have quantity? Anyone? We have the quantity, it's confirmed. Then again 101 customer has placed X material for 640 quantity. Do I have? We have it. Why? Because 60 minus 100 minus 60, we have 40. So we again confirm. Now a customer who is 103, who is a high priority customer, has placed an order for X material 40 quantity. So do I have 40 quantity? No. Why? Because all the 100 quantity what I have has been consumed and I don't have. So in these scenarios, what you can do is you can cancel the confirmed quantities of a low priority customer, and you can give this quantity or assign this quantity to an order for a high priority customer, and you'll confirm that here. So this process is called as back order processing. If you do this manually like this, if you do if you want this process to be automatically done, that's called as rescheduling. Okay, back order, rescheduling are both meant for same purpose, but back order is like manually, and rescheduling is doing the back order process automatically. Okay, so how you know this customer is a low priority and this customer is a high priority? Basing upon what you assign to them in the delivery priority. Okay, whether he's a high priority or low priority. So that's the reason delivery priority, it's very important, which will help us to do the back order processing for that customers. The next is shipping condition. Okay, so shipping condition, it's one of the parameter. See, you have seen earlier a configuration called as shipping point, right? In the enterprise structure, you have created shipping point. So when I'm creating an order for customer and delivering for that customer, I need to ship for that customer, right? So there should be a shipping point determined. Okay. So how this shipping point determines for this customer, basing upon some parameter That's the shipping point determination is OVL2. The transaction code is called as OVL2, and in there you have some parameters which will determine what shipping point to be determined. Okay, under that shipping point, shipping condition is one of the parameter to determine a shipping point. So let's see, the shipping point is determined basing upon the parameters in OVL2, like say it is loading group, plant, and shipping condition. So these are the three parameters which will influence what shipping point to be determined into a sales document. So shipping condition is one of the parameter among these three. So let me show you OVL2 shipping point determination transaction code. Yeah, you see here. Okay. See, one thing, you please be very organized. I am not organized. You can see I have written it something like this: loading group, plant, and shipping condition. But it's not the way the sequence it should be. Okay. Please be organized. Learn organized way. Uh, First is shipping condition. Next is loading group and plant. Why? Because see, you are claiming saying that I have 4 years of experience. 4 years of experience means you might be seeing this scene hundreds of times. Okay. So this matters. Okay. SAP standard matter. So it is shipping condition, loading group, and plant, which will help us to determine a proposed shipping point. This is default shipping point in the sales document. So shipping condition is one of the parameter which will influence to determine what shipping point. Okay. So it's one of the parameter. So that's there in the customer master. Okay. For this customer, what shipping point to be determined, influencing by this. Then next is delivering plant. See, if you remember, I have told you that plant is termed as different, like say manufacturing plant, storage plant, delivering plant. But obviously when it comes to sales and distribution, it's always a delivering plant. So any customer, he should be assigned to one plant. Suppose say, I am a customer who is in Hyderabad. My company Maruti, say suppose it has plants in Haryana and it has a plant in Chennai. So as a customer in Hyderabad, for this customer, from which plant you will deliver? Obviously from Haryana. Why? Because it might be close to, Chennai. It would be 600 kilometers or something, but this is almost 1500 kilometers, right? So the transportation cost, the time, everything is more than the Chennai. So if some product is not available at Chennai, then you can deliver it from Haryana if that product is available here. But obviously all the time, by default, you will be delivering for this customer from Chennai. So how you know for this customer it's Chennai? That is, for this customer, by default, you will be assigning a plant. Okay. So one customer should be under one sales organization. You can see here Z900X124 under one sales area, and one customer should be also by default should be assigned to one plant. Okay. So important interview question and the concept, like how a plant determines into a sales document. Okay. See, in SAP it's something like this. Everything we configure like this: preceding and subsequent. That means you maintain everything at the preceding level, so that you want everything to be this, whatever you're maintaining at the preceding level, you want it to be automatically determined at the subsequent level. Subsequent means order. When you create an order, whatever the fields you maintain at the customer master, like say shipping condition or a plant, everything you want automatically determined into sales document. Later you can give access to the user to change those values here in the order level at the subsequent level, but by default you want some values to be automatically determined here. That's the reason you are using such a sophisticated ERP SAP. Okay. So plant, how a plant determines automatically in the sales document, it's basing upon three criteria. So okay, the question is like say what is the criteria to determine a plant into sales document. So how a plant determined into sales document is basing upon this sequence: CMIR, second is customer master, and third is material master. That means all the three master data has a field called plant. Okay. If you maintain plant at CMIR, system will give first preference in determining from CMIR. Okay, you haven't maintained this, then system will check in customer master. in this particular field called as delivering plant under shipping. If even you don't maintain a plant in the customer master, then system will check whether you maintained in the material master. Okay. So first preference system will give CMIR. If you don't maintain, it will take it from the customer master. If you don't maintain it here, it will take it to the material master. So this is the sequence what system will follow to determine a plant into the sales document. Okay. So when it comes to the CMR and metal master, again I'll show you this. Then next is order combination. Okay, this field. Okay, order combination means, see, there is a customer called as 101 for whom you have created three orders, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the ship to party is same. Then what you can do, you can club all these three orders and make it a single delivery and send it to the customer if customer agrees. Okay, if customer agrees means this should be activated for this customer. If it is activated, what you can do is you can combine multiple orders and make it as a single delivery and send it to the customers. So whether for this customer it is allowed or not, you'd be maintaining that here. The next is relevant for POD. See, POD means it's a proof of delivery. Okay, relevant for POD means it's a proof of delivery. So let's see one scenario to better understand what is a POD. Say suppose my company is Indian Oil Corporation, IOC, which supplies petrol, diesel, ATF and everything, and my customer is Jet Airways. Okay, so you know what fuel they use in their flights. It's called as ATF, which is called as air turbine fuel, and Indian Oil Corporation supplies it to the Jet Airways for their fleet. Okay, so Indian Oil Corporation has been okay. The stock plant for the Jet Airways to stock ATF fuel is in Chennai, and IOC plant is in, say, suppose in Pune, close to some 1,000 kilometers or something, more than, I don't know exact, not scaling. Okay, so they have delivered some 5,000 liters of ATF to the Chennai Jet Airways plant from Pune IOC stockyard. Okay, ATF, petrol, it evaporates quick, right, to the atmosphere. ATF has more sensitive than petrol. Okay, it evaporates more quick than the petrol. Okay, so as in a journey of this 1,000 kilometers or 15 kilometers from Pune to Chennai, there will be some transit loss, right? Because of the evaporation, there would be a transit loss. So they have delivered 5,000 liters, but by the time it reaches the Chennai, when they weigh that particular shipment, it's saying that the delivered quantity is only 4,900. Okay, 4,900 liter. So now Chennai, okay, now IOC will raise a invoice for what quantity? 5,000 quantity or 4,900 quantity? Everyone? For what quantity IOC will raise a, anyone? 4,900 quantity. Okay, so how IOC knows the delivery quantity is 4,009 quantity? How IOC knows that? Okay, so when you're dealing with this kind of business or this kind of material, what you'll be having is you will be having this particular what we call POC, which is POD, which is called as proof of delivery. Why? Because you know the transit loss. If you raise the invoice for 5,000 quantity, customer will not pay. Why? Because the actual quantity what is received by the customer is 4,900 liter. So how a customer will know whether it's a 4,000 liter? This is because of the POD, proof of delivery. Okay, so customer will send a proof of delivery to the IOC, then IOC will raise a invoice for the quantity what is received by the customer, that is 4,900. Okay, so if this particular customer, if it is relevant for POD, you will be activating this. Okay, when you activate this relevant for POD, then system will not allow you to raise a invoice to the customer until he sends a POD to you. Okay, unless the company receives the POD, system will not allow you to raise an invoice. Okay, what if customer is, after even 1 month, customer is not sending you the POD? Okay, so what you will do? So what you can do is you can maintain a POD time frame here, like say 15 days, something like that. Okay, 15 days or something like this. So within this 15 days, system will not allow you to raise a POD to the customer. Why? Because you maintain a time frame of 15 days, so you need to wait for 15 days. But after 15 days also, if customer is not sending you the POD, then system will sorry, then system will allow you to raise a POD invoice with this quantity. But because you don't know actual quantity what is received by customer, so system will allow you to raise a POD with this quantity what you have sent. Okay, so the transaction code to capture the POD, that means when user has sent a POD, you need to change the quantity in the earlier document, right? So the transaction to change the quantity is, that means the transaction code with which you capture the POD is VL VLPOD. Okay, it is VLPOD. VLPOD is a transaction code through which you will capture the POD quantity, that is changing 5000 to 4900. Okay, this is the transaction T code which you will be using. Okay, so that is POD. See, once you practice the POD, please again make it or uncheck this. Why? Because always it will bug saying that enter POD, enter POD. Okay, once try it and leave it. Okay, you'll not try it now. It will take any time after completing the sales document. It will take 1 month or some time for you to try this. Anyway, okay. So once after trying at that time, so again uncheck this. Don't leave it checked. And the next is complete delivery required by law. Okay, see, delivery you can do partial, why? Because it's a B2B business, you cannot say no to the customer, and customer also cannot say no saying that I want full delivery. Why? Because it's a B2B and whatever the quantities are available you need to deliver. Okay, but there might be some companies or government organizations which accept only complete delivery. Defense they don't accept partial deliveries. Why? Because they don't entertain you coming and passing by through their premises. Okay, highly secured premises. So they don't accept partial deliveries, one delivery, that's it. Okay, so if your customer is liable for complete delivery by law, then check this. Or else, if your customer is allowing to do the partial deliveries, you see here, leave this field blank, so that system will allow you to do the partial deliveries. Okay, if for this customer, if partial delivery is allowed, leave this field blank and uncheck this. Okay, and how many maximum partial deliveries you can do for a customer? That is 9 partial deliveries you can do. Okay, up to maximum of 9. So here it's a gap, actually we can say, in SAP. Okay, we haven't discussed any gap, right? Okay, there is a gap in SAP in the general data. In the general data there is a gap in SAP. See, you know what is a gap? What is a gap? Which is not there in the standard SAP. Okay, right? The standard SAP, if it's not fulfilling the customer requirement and customer needs that requirement, then it's a gap. And how we handle that? With the enhancement or change request or something. So we had a gap in the customer master general data. Just excuse me a moment, please. Yeah, so we had a gap in the customer master general data. Is this standard? I do not. Uh, yeah, it's a standard. It's a standard 9 what SAP allows. But say if your customer asking for 10, you cannot do it here. Why? Because you cannot enter a 2-digit figure. So that's a gap here. Okay, why? Because sometimes your customer want to do more than 10, but SAP is not allowing. So it's a gap here. And coming to the general data, there is one more gap, that is SAP will print. See, in the invoice or other communications, you need to print customer address, right? So SAP will print only 4 lines of address. SAP cannot, if say your customer address is more than 5 lines, you know, in Indian address, how lengthy it would be. So uh, if you want to print more than 4 lines of address, SAP will not allow you. You want to enhance it. At the same time, you don't have a option to maintain customer's PAN number. Okay, so you need to enhance for that. So there are some kind of this enhancement what you need to do, and it's gaps. Okay, so let's go to the sales area data. Okay, in the shipping. Okay, so okay, let me put a question to you. It's also an important interview question. So The question is, how many maximum partial deliveries I can make for a customer? Okay, how many partial deliveries I can make for a customer? Or else let me show you the exact question what it is. Okay, it's the same, I guess, like how many maximum partial deliveries I can do for an order or something. It's like that. So anyone, how many partial deliveries you can do for a customer? Okay, okay, it's 9, right? But it's not 9. Why? Because see, SAP system allows you to do up to 9. But what if I maintain here 5? Okay, my question was, how many maximum partial deliveries I can do for a customer? That means it depends upon what are the value you maintained in the maximum partial deliveries. Okay, it's SAP allows you to do 9, but if I am talking about specific customer, then it is whatever you maintain the value in the maximum partial deliveries. Okay, if my customer for this it's only 5. So the answer is it depends upon the maximum partial deliveries for that particular customer, whatever you maintain. Okay, so that's the answer. You can go through the document. You'll find that question and answer also in the document. Okay. Okay, the next is unlimited tolerance. Okay, tolerance. Tolerance means it's nothing but like a deviation. Okay, tolerance is a deviation. See, when you create an order, it's a B2B business as we already discussed. Okay, so I'm a customer order for 100 quantity, but I don't have that quantity. Okay, so I'm sending only 90 quantity. Okay, or else a customer ordered for 100, but I know customer frequently order for the same material and 100 quantity. Okay, let me deliver 120 quantity to him. Okay, as why? Because it's a continuous business. Sometimes customer also accepts this. Okay, so what is deviation? Deviation means moving little outside from the standard. Okay, so customer has placed the order for 100, but I'm under delivering him only 90, or sometimes I'm over delivering him up to 20. So, or I'm doing unlimited delivery. Okay, unlimited tolerance means unlimited. Customer placed 100, but I'm delivering him 200 for him. Okay, so this unlimited delivery happens only for the internal customers. That's called as STO process, stock transport order. When you're transporting the stock from plant to depot, which is your own. Okay, why? Because customer may not accept when you do such huge variation. Customer will accept little variation like this. Okay, so but internal customers, plant and depot, STO, it says unlimited tolerance. Okay, so this tolerance, whatever you are seeing here, this 10, it's called it is percentage. Tolerance is always based upon percentage, unlimited tolerance and over delivery tolerance. So that means you are taking a deviation of 10%. Say suppose you maintained as unlimited tolerance, sorry, over delivery tolerance as 10. That means system will allow me only to do a delivery up to 110. In the downside also, under delivery tolerance I maintain 10, system will accept only 90. That means if I'm trying to do anything less than 90 or more than 120, system will not accept. Why? Because the agreed term with the customer is the tolerance is this one, the deviation. Okay, so this is what under delivery tolerance or over delivery tolerance. And this transportation zone field, it's grayed out. Why? Because it's taking from the general data address tab. There cannot be a data inconsistency. You see, transportation zone, whatever you maintain here, that's automatically copied into the sales area data shipping tab. But because I cannot make two different things, right? So it's you maintain it there, it's automatically copied here. Okay, so that's what the complete shipping details of the customer, what you maintain in the shipping tab here. Then next is billing details. Okay, so coming to the billing details, subsequent invoice processing, that means with you see subsequent itself, the name tells that subsequent means next to the main one. That means you create an invoice to a customer. Later, with reference to
Ravi,
this, yeah, Madhuri, go ahead.
there is a separate chapter in LE regarding shipment.
Yes,
In that also we are going to look shipping, right? In detail.
yes. Shipment is all about LE, shipment document, shipment
Okay.
cost document, everything. Okay, yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, so you created an invoice, and with reference to invoice, you want to create something. subsequently. Whether for this customer it is allowed or not, okay, you make it with this, you control that with this indicator. Okay. The next, if you remember when we discussed the sales organization configuration enterprise structure, at that we have seen a field called rebate proactive, and I told that in your organization, if you want to process rebates, you need to activate rebates at 3 places. You know, at the first place, that is rebate proactive in the sales organization, and the second, this is rebate. Okay. The next is invoicing dates and invoicing list dates. See, invoicing dates means you might be having an agreement with your customer saying that whatever the transactions you have done in the month, I will be raising invoice only on particular date. Okay, you have done a delivery on 2nd of September, but you should raise for this invoice for referring to this delivery only on 25th. Okay, that's what invoicing list date. Sorry, that is invoicing dates. Okay, let me be a little clear about this invoicing date. Uh, yeah, invoicing dates is like customer generate only on a specific date. Yeah, it's what, so invoice to be generated only on a specific date of every month for all the deliveries made in this particular month. That's called as invoicing dates. So how to configure that? I have given a menu path and everything here. So if you maintain so and so date, so system will raise invoice only on that particular date for that customer. The next is invoicing list dates. It's nothing but consolidating all the invoices raised to a particular in a month and sending that to payer. Okay, if you raised 100 invoices, consolidate it and make it one invoice and send it to the payer. That is invoicing list dates. Okay, so invoicing list you create with the transaction code called VF21, VF24. So as I told you, whatever highlights you are seeing in my documents, they are very important, and that those are going to be your interview questions tomorrow. Okay, so the T codes, why I highlighted this is these are important. Then next is Incoterms. The next is Incoterms. Incoterms means it's a international commercial terms. Okay, international commercial terms. See, Incoterms will help you to process the shipment successfully. Why? Because Incoterms tells that who is responsible for what. That means who will pay the freight charge, who will pay the insurance charge, who will pay the loading charge, who will pay the packing charge. These all things. Okay, Incoterms will help us to process the shipment successfully. Why? Because if you have some ambiguity on who will pay this or who will bear this, you cannot process shipment successfully. Why? Because you think that your customer will pay for all this and you transported it. Once it received, customer says that no, I will not take the shipment. I don't want to bear this all things. Okay, so if you have an idea of who will bear this, the shipment will be successful. So Incoterms is nothing but it's an international commercial terms which is an agreement between the company, that is consignment in a consignment, successful completion of deliveries. So this field specifies who is responsible for the freight charge, insurance charge, loading charge, and XYZ. Okay. So if company is responsible, okay, if company is bearing everything, then we maintain Incoterms as called as FOB, that is free on board, free on board. Or if customer want to bear all the things, then we maintain it as CAF, that is carry charges, insurance, freight, something like this. Let me open and show you. CAF and FOB, F4. Okay, and see, Incoterms will always have two parts. The first part you see here, this is part 1 and second one is part 2. Part 1 tells that who is responsible for what, and part 2 tells that what is the customer's destination zone. Why? Because depending upon the destination zone only you can calculate the tax. If you take US, every state has its own tax. You take in India, Maharashtra has a separate tax called as octroi. Okay, apart from CST, VAT, Maharashtra has its own separate tax which is called as octroi. Okay, so like this. So if your customer is located in Maharashtra, you need to impose octroi also. Okay, so to process shipment, there is Incoterms. Incoterms has two parts. One part is tells who is responsible for what, and second part tells the what is the destination zone of the customer, so that you can charge the freight depending upon the customer location. Okay, so that's what the Incoterms is all about. I pressed F4 and it's taking time to open. Okay, anyway, we'll leave it here. And the next, okay, it's, you see here, CF means cost, insurance and freight should be beared by the customer. If it is FOB, free on board, everything is beared by the company itself. The next is terms of payment. As we know that terms of payment is in FI also. Let's see what is terms of payment. So terms of payment is nothing but payment terms. You know what is payment terms? That means it's also called as like a credit period. Okay, credit period. That means you are giving some credit to the customer to pay for the invoice what you raised, which is also called as due period, due net. Okay, so terms of payment tells that when customer has to pay. Okay, once you raise an invoice, how many days he has time to pay? 45 days, like this. Okay, so what you maintain in terms of payment? See, in terms of, okay, let me relate with the document. Okay, terms of payment, it's an agreement between the company and customer for the number of days given to the customer to make the payment, which is also called as credit period. Okay, so what exactly you configure there? You configure number of days like this, 45 days, 30 days, like this. So what is this 45 days, 30 days is, see, the time you have given to the customer, the credit period what you have given to the customer or due date is 45 days. That means customer has 45 days to pay, but you encourage customer to pay well in advance. That means you pay in 30 days, I will give you 1% discount on the complete document value, whatever the customer want to pay. You pay in 15 days, I'll give you 2% discount. You pay me within 7 days after raising the invoice, I'll give you 3% discount. Why I'm encouraging customer to pay well in advance even though he has time? Why? Because customer is getting more discount, company is getting cash flow. Okay, why? Because companies always need cash, right? So both the parties having advantage here. Customer is getting more discount and company is getting cash to the company. So you encourage customer here. So this is what the configuration you will be doing in the terms of pay, saying that you pay me in advance, I'll be giving the more discount. And see, this discount is given after tax. Okay, how you price a product like this: price, discount, surcharge, and tax, right? That means if my price is 1000, I give a discount of 10% to the customer. That means 100 rupees. That customer has to pay 900. On that, I'll add some surcharge, say 100 rupees. Again, it has become 1000. Okay. On that, I'll impose a tax. Say round figure, I'll take 10%. That is 100 rupees. So 110 rupees customer has to pay me, right? So I already given a discount of 10% customer here. But whatever the discount now, what I am giving in the payment term, saying that if customer pay this 110 rupees within 1 week, I am saying that I will give 3% discount, right? This discount is called as this discount is nothing but whatever your offer is after the tax. You see, after tax, there is a difference between offering tax before tax and after discount, offering before tax and after tax. So this is the tax which you are offering to the customer after tax, and the condition type for this is called as an SKTO. So don't bother about what is the condition type as of now, but just remember the condition type for the cash discount is SKTO, and it will determine into the sales document. Okay, open. Okay, just okay. Yeah, yeah. So I have given here how to configure. You see, cash discount. It's a discount which we offer to the customer if he makes the payment well before this, and cash discount percentage which we maintain here will be determined to sales document with the help of the condition type SKTO, and a cash discount is a discount which you offer after tax. Okay. So you have certain. Is this something like a cash? No, it's not a cashback. Okay, it's not a cashback. If it is a cashback, then it's called as a rebates. Okay, if it's a cashback, it's called as a rebates. Okay, so the next is, see, you have some terminologies here which you need to know. It's not that important, but if you know, it's good. So baseline date, fixed date, additional value, just go through them. Okay, theoretically, that's it. And if you know, if you go to the configuration of payment terms, if you go to this menu path, you'll be seeing them there. Okay, so the next is payment procedure. Okay, what we have, yeah, payment guarantee procedure. Okay, see, payment guarantee procedure is something like nothing but the name itself saying that payment guarantee. Okay, see, this customer is an export customer. I exported some goods to him. What guarantee he will pay me after receiving the shipment, right? So if you put some if you're going for a tender quote, or if you're going for some government projects, they will ask for some deposit, right? Okay, bank guarantee, letter of credit, LOC, bank guarantee. Okay, like this. Okay, payment guarantee procedure. Say suppose if this customer is export customer, you have to maintain payment guarantee procedure. Why? Because after successfully receiving of the shipment to the customer, if customer don't pay, you can get payment from this particular instruments like bank guarantee, if this bank will pay you, or letter of credit, they will pay you. Okay, so if this customer is a export customer, then you need to maintain this payment guarantee procedure. Generally it's maintained by the FI guys, and they will give you, you need to maintain that field here. The next is account assignment group. So as of now, just only know the definition, what is this. Then later when it comes to the topic called revenue account determination, you will be knowing what the use of this field. Account assignment group is one of the parameter which will help us to determine revenue account determination. See, whenever we do a transaction, whenever we raise a invoice to the customer, we have discussed yesterday that there will be an accounting entry document generated, and the accounting document is customer debit to revenue credit. So to determine to debit the customer, to determine what GL account to be determined, it is taking from the reconciliation account, right? So when you debit, you need to post it into some GL account. So to determine this GL account, system goes with the configuration in the revenue account determination, and this is one of the parameter which will influence what GL account to be determined. Okay, why? Because if he is an export customer, he will determine one GL account. Why? Because I want all my foreign revenues to be posted into one account. I want all my domestic revenues to be posted into some other GL account. So how this is influenced? This is influenced basing upon this particular account group, because if he is a domestic customer, I'll maintain some value here x1. If he is an export customer, I'll maintain a value x2. Okay, so this is a parameter which will influence to determine what kind of GL account to be determined. And tax status of this customer, that is whether he is liable for tax or not. Why? Because some customers are not liable for tax when, if suppose that this customer is in a SEZ. SEZ means special economic zone. Okay, so he may not, government has given some like what we call uh, tax exemptions for this customer, so he may not be liable for tax. So you would be maintaining the tax status of the customer here in this particular block. Okay, so that's what we have in the shipping billing tab. Okay, so we'll do one thing, we'll call it a day today here, we'll stop it here. Why? Because shipping and billing, it looks like very simple, only 5 or 10 fields here, but it will take some time for you to understand and configure them in the system. Okay, it's looking very pretty simple here, only 5 fields, okay, definitions, but you need to know. Why? Because this is what will influence your knowledge tomorrow when we are configuring the sales documents and doing the transactions. Okay, and the second reason is, I want these partner functions, the PDP and account groups to be in one session, and that is tomorrow, and we'll finish that. And next we will go to the next master data, material master, from Monday. Okay, yeah. So any questions out of this shipping and billing, or any questions from previous? And Madhuri, did you solve your issue yesterday? You were facing some error. You got solution for that?
Yeah, I got a solution, but it was a real-time error regarding domain branch.
Okay, what is that error?
It was regarding a domain branch. It was
Okay.
uh, FI related issue.
Okay, it was a FI related issue, right? Okay, okay. So any questions? Anyone?
It got solved.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, hope so. No questions. We'll call it a day today here. Please go through these concepts and see the guys who is already into SAP. If you want to quickly complete your session or something, I have a batch morning 8 to 9:30, and we are going with the pricing. Just started. You can also attend that batch. Okay, mostly Madhuri for you, Jagdish anyway attending, and we know that Arun. If you like to attend, you can also attend those batch. Okay. Okay, so we'll call it a day today here, and we'll catch back tomorrow, and we'll discuss about PDP, partner determination procedure, and account groups, and anything left coming to the customer master. We'll finish completely tomorrow, and you'll have a time weekend to practice this and finish off customer master or whatever until we discussed. From Monday, we'll discuss material master. Okay, so let's call it a day today here, and good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.